Welcome to EduRev.
Hi friends, I'm Binu. I teach the subjects of art and culture and geography, where I've created more than 400 video lectures. I've given 3 mains and 1 interview, and I've taught and mentored more than 20 rankers in the last 2 years.
How did this evolution of civilization come into picture? For that, let us try to give it a graphical representation. First thing started with being nomadic style. The early humans, they led a nomadic life in the beginning. They attempted to cultivate, and when they attempted to cultivate, naturally it led to a settlement form of community living. And they stayed for a very long time in the same place till the process of harvesting gets over. So it was more of a sedentary lifestyle began to get evolved, and this later on led to the formation of society, which after this scientific evolution, after your trade ties coming into picture, we call what is known as civilization. The highest standards of living of a human race refers to a civilized society. So this is the evolution of civilization. So right now we are in the process of learning about the Indus Valley civilization. So any civilization have to cross this particular cycle. And what in particular the Indian architecture contributes to culture, that also you need to understand. See, Indian architecture was not a modern phenomena. It began to grow as soon as early caveman architecture came into picture. So even when this entire civilization was spanning, which wherein we are talking about somewhere close to 3300 to 1300 BC, it is in that time period. Even when we are talking about that time period of Indus Valley civilization, we still have a huge impact of the architecture upon the culture, and we still get to know a lot of things from those rich traditions. Hence, the study of architecture, to put very simply, it reveals to us the cultural diversities and help us understand the rich traditions of India. Now, coming to IVC, yes, of course, this is one of the oldest and the longest surviving civilization. The term IVC, it is also referred to as the Harappan civilization, and it was first coined by John Marshall. Now, who's John Marshall? There are certain harbingers towards the excavation of the Indus Valley. Harbingers of excavation, meaning the ones who were the pioneers of excavation. They were great Indologists who supported this kind of excavation. And there were others also, many archaeologists who led to this kind of excavation. And one such archaeologist was John Marshall. Now, he led an excavation team in the years of 1921-22 to find out something like IVC existed. Now, apart from John Marshall, one another important name which must get mentioned when you talk about IVC is Wheeler, Mortimer Wheeler. He's another very, very important person. So, two important archaeologists who is very profound, who has done a very profound studies with regard to IVC. One is John Marshall and the other one is Mortimer Wheeler. And another thing is Bronze Age. Yes, bronze was extensively used during this point of time, and hence this time period was also referred to as Bronze Age. And something that is very important is the characteristics of IVC. So there are some, we'll be actually learning it under these headings. We'll be learning it as point number 1, 2, 3 and so on, because then it'll be easier for you to remember and it'll be easier for you to recall in the examination. So the first thing that we are going to read about is urban growth. One of the important features of the IVC is the development of such beautiful urban centers and cities, because after its extinction, such an advanced city, it came into existence only after 1,000 years later, only when the emperors came into picture. So such is the importance, such is the achievement that has been contributed by IVC. So there have been many important urban centers, and look at the map here. we have certain important centers which is being marked here. And those centers like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Kort-Lechit falls under Pakistan, whereas the regions like Banawali, Rakhigarhi and Kalibangan, Dholavira, Lothal, so these are the things which fall under the place of India.